Buenos dias, this is Señor Irvin, and this is a quick little lesson on something called the conditional tense. And basically, the conditional tense is talking about the hypothetical future. The future is tense in Espanol is something a little bit different, but this is the hypothetical future, specifically a word that we use in English called would. We also use it in contraction form like these forms here, like I'd, you'd, or wouldn't in a negative form there. But it's all means the same thing. They're all some forms of this word would, and we're all talking about some kind of hypothetical future. Cool. So what's awesome about this tense and that you'll really enjoy is that AR, ER, and IR verbs are all conjugated or changed exactly the same way, which doesn't ever usually happen. See, it happens in the future tense also, but in all of our other tenses, AR verbs have their own endings. ER and IR verbs sometimes are the same, but in this case, all of them are exactly the same. So I'm going to show you the chart all in one big bang here on the next slide. So the next slide kind of shows you what I'm talking about here. So we have the chart, the conjugation chart, and basically our rule is we're going to keep the entire verb and we're going to add these endings, and our endings are es, and they're pronounced like that, ia. And then I also put a little hint here if you want to type the I in Espanol, it's Alt 161, the I with the accent mark. So be able to use an AR verb like this one is yo hablaría, the ER verb is yo comería, and an IR verb is yo viviría. So you keep the entire verb along with the stem and you add these new endings. The tú form has IAS. The usted él en ella form is IA, and you'll notice the little star here because the yo form and the usted él en ella form are exactly the same. The way that you distinguish between the two is you use these subject pronouns. You use the word yo or the word él, ella, or usted, depending upon what you're talking about. The nosotros form gets a little bit big. It's hablaríamos. And the ustedes, ellos, and ellas form is ian, hablarían. There are some irregular verbs that go with this, and that's the next part that I have for you. And there's, if you remember this, you maybe do or not, that there's 3 different types of irregular verbs, and they fit into 3 different categories. And here we go. Here's the 3 categories. Let's start off with type 1. Type 1, we call them the drop the last vowel. They are the verbs caber, haber, poder, querer, and saber. And we're going to drop this E on all of 5 of these. And then you're going to add the ending, which is ia or ias or iamos or whichever one of the endings may be. An example would be like yo sabría, I would know, whatever it is that you would know. See? Type 2, we call them the replace those. They're the verbs poner, salir, tener, valer, and venir. And what we're going to do with the last vowel is replace the last vowel with the letter D. So it turns into stuff like yo pondría, yo saldría, or if it's a tú form, it's tú vendrías, nosotros tendríamos. You have it in every form, you're going to add that D in there. The weirdos are the last ones, which is we're going to drop the CE or the EC, so the letters C and E are the ones we're going to drop of the verbs hacer and decir. So you're going to end up with just HAR, ar, or DIR, dir. And then you add these endings like yo haría, tú harías, nosotros haríamos, ellos harían. For decir, you have dir, so diría, dirías, diríamos, dirían would be our endings there. Okay, so those are the irregular verbs as far as just as what it says here, just like the future tense, if you remember that from el año pasado. Anyway, that is the conditional tense in a quick little recorded thing. Adios, hasta la vista.